to shut down this window.
Well, this is Sherry McAllister, and if you just joined our series recently, I'm the host of our third series and Tips from the Top. So delighted to have you with us today, and also, of course, all of you that are listening to the replay of this, and I know that that's most of you. Hi, Janesta. So I am really, really fortunate to have the privilege to introduce our speaker today, and I will be forever grateful to Amanda Todd for introducing me to Laura and introducing me to Laura. So this is somebody that I've been, not Laura specifically because I didn't know of you, but this is a area where I've really been looking for someone to help us. And direct sales is one of those businesses where we can make a lot of money fast, and then we kind of turn around and go, where did it go? So she's going to really help us with that. If you're not familiar with Laura, she's a 5-time national award-winning financial coach, 20 years experience helping people that are in direct sales just like you catch their money and bank the profit from their business. And she's also been in direct sales herself, which gives us an extra perk there. So thank you for that, Laura. And I'm just really excited to introduce you to Laura Royer, who is, of course, our speaker for today. I know you're going to get a ton out of this. I, for one, am super excited and ready to take a ton of notes. So let me turn it over to you, Laura.
Laura, I think you're on mute.
You're on mute, Sarah.
I like talking, just to the random air. I'm totally on mute. I do put myself on mute sometimes just because like all the little background noises. But anyway, thank you so much for having me today. I am so excited, Sherry, to present to your group. When you reach out to me and ask for this topic, I was super excited because, like you said, I've been doing financial education for a long time. And I also was in direct sales as well. And I'm super passionate about this particular topic with women, and I should say women and men. But I know the majority of us are women, so I always use women. So I'm sorry, guys, if there's any dudes like watching this, please forgive me. But we definitely need to talk more about money, managing money, and managing our business finances. I feel like it's a topic that we really don't get a ton of training on. We talk a lot about bookings and customers and this and that, but we don't really talk about how to manage the cash flow, which is the crux of your business. So I'm super excited that I get to be here today and to share this information. So let's go ahead and kick off. The whole theme of this is kind of get into the game. So, what I find is in my experience in direct sales, and if you're a leader and you're watching this, or you're not yet a leader, but you're wanting to grow, you might find this. What I find as a leader is I had sponsored a lot of women who really wanted to be in this business and were so excited. And then they ended up on the sideline of their business. And so that's why I like this whole theme. We got to get in the game. And in order to get in the game, you have to understand why you're doing what you're doing in your business. And part of that, a huge part of that, is to make money. And the reason why so many women struggle to make money is because they really don't know how much money they need to make. So I want to start this off a little bit different. And I want you to think about, it's December 31st, 2021. We just finished a much better year than 2020. So we are so excited that 2020 is behind us. It's definitely had its challenges still a little bit, but nothing like last year. But we're getting ready to go into the new year, and you're talking with your other direct sale friends or your family or whatever. You're talking about this amazing year that you just closed out. And here's what I want you to think about. What would you have accomplished? What would you have accomplished in your personal finances? What would you be telling the most important people in your world about the financial goals that you achieved? How much debt did you pay off? How much money did you save? And what is something that you were able to purchase with cash? I mean, I don't know about you, but being able to purchase things with cash has such an amazing ring to it, right? And I can tell you, for many years, I didn't have that opportunity. And now I'm 100% cash system. I don't even really use credit ever. Now, that's your personal finances. Let's talk about what you accomplished in your business. How many events? Now, I use the word events, but you might call them parties, you might call them shows. Everybody has different lingo in the direct sales business. So for the sake of today's presentation, we're going to call them events, right? Whether you're partying with your people, however you party, however you run your business and sell to your customer, we're going to call those events. So how many events did you complete? How much money did you make? And how many people did you add to your team? I would imagine that the majority of you in this training series, because you're learning from the top, are interested in sponsoring, and that is important to you. So here's the thing, you're at the end of this year and you're telling this story of what you've accomplished. You see, a lot of times we go into a year and we're so focused on what we want right this second that we forget to really think about not only understanding the end in mind, which are your goals, we all set those, but how are we going to build all of that out? What are the action steps that we're actually going to take? And so that's why I wanted to start today's presentation off with what is the end that you're trying to see. I want you to, first assignment, this is your first action item for today's training. When you get off of here and you're marinating on this information, I would love for you to get out a notebook and a piece of paper, and I want you to write your story, not goals. I want you to tell a story about 2021 with your money and your business. And then when you write the story, I want you to backtrack that out, and I want you to create some specific action steps that you're going to take to have that story come to fruition. Okay, so we're going to start with what we want to tell at the end of this year. So as Sherry mentioned earlier, my name's Laura Royer. I was in direct sales for about 7 years. Just as my story was I was a full-time faculty member of the University of Florida, and I worked for them for almost 18 years. In 2012, you'll see a picture of me and my bestie, Selena. She sponsored me into joining my direct sales company, which was Premier Designs. And I worked Premier with a full-time job. So no matter who you are in this training, I always say, if I can work that crazy full-time job and be successful in a direct sales business, you can do it too. So not only was I able to build a very successful direct sales business, in 2014, I was the top 5 sponsor in the state of Florida and in my region. And in 2015, I quit my full-time tenured faculty, that's very hard to get, job to go all in my direct sales business. So in less than 3 years, I had quit my full-time job and I went all in my direct sales business. And in 2017, I started my own business, Catch Your Money, the Catch Your Money brand, which is all about helping people just like you, women and men, grow a successful business by leveraging their personal finances and their passion to really live the life they dream about. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. So I come to you, yes, with a background in finance, but I really come to you with the background of someone who has worked the business all the way to the top, and so successfully that I was able to start another business that is now my ultimate passion, and that's why I'm here today. So let me ask you a couple questions. I like to use the chat. In fact, I'm going to pull my chat box up. So I know we have some of you guys with us. Some of you are going to be joining us later on the replay. So hi, replay viewers. Love to see that you're back over here watching the replay. But I want you to join me over in the chat, and I want you to put a 1 in the chat if this sounds familiar. Like when you joined your direct sales business, you may have found yourself saying, if I could just make a little more money. If that's you, put a 1 in the chat. If you said, if I could just make a little more money, I could pay off my debt, I could save more money, I could buy a home of my dreams, I could send my kids to college, whatever that is. If that was you, when you joined your direct sales business, put a 1 if your whole mission was, I just want to make a little more money. It doesn't even have to be a big thing. I just want to make a little more money, okay? Now, another reason you joined your business is probably because you had a specific financial need you wanted to make. And so you found yourself saying this, if I could just make more money, and then you got introduced into this amazing business that you have. You said, hey, I could do this in this business, right? And then when your upline shared this business opportunity with you, you could easily see how this business offered you the solution to your financial need. So you joined. And your business, it initially started off pretty strong. And maybe some of you had some real great consistency. You had a consistent business. Things were running really smooth. All of you were running that business around all the other things that are going on in your life. However, maybe some of you have hit a bump in a road, and there seems to be like this struggle, this little back and forth. Like I get a little bit of a hit, and then I get a setback, and then I get a little bit of a go forward, and I get a little setback. Does that sound familiar? Put a 2 in the chat. If you maybe had really great success in your business, but then it's like, it might feel like it's flatlining, or it's not quite where you wanted it to be. It may be still good, but it's flatlined in the sense that it's not growing. Okay. So if that sounds familiar, put a 2 in the chat. And so here's the thing. For a lot of women and men in direct sales, there's this question of, why is this so hard? Why is this struggle so real? Because I see other people making good money. I see other people doing very well. I see other people, like, it's successful. They're quitting their jobs. They're doing this full time. Why is this struggle real? And the truth of the matter, for the majority of people in direct sales who are struggling, hear me on this, is there are some people who've made money and the need is still going unmet, that financial reason that brought them into this business. And so as a leader, I'm sure you're probably, if you're one of our leaders on this group, you're probably nodding your head, yeah, I see this a lot with my team, or maybe you even personally experience this. There's this need still going unmet. And some of our people, even on our team, might be feeling discouraged. You might be feeling discouraged because you know this business works for others. Why is it not working for me? That might be something you're thinking about. So this is a snapshot of the things that I was seeing happening over and over and over in my own direct sales business with my own team, or in working with other people and other teams. So many people blame money as the core problem that keep them from doing the things they really want to accomplish. But the truth really is, money or lack of money is rarely the case. The number one reason that a lot of women struggle to achieve their desired level of financial success, and that was one of the things we promised we would teach you today. Are you guys ready? If you're ready, put a ready in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna give you something, and you're gonna be like, really? That's it? It's so simple, but it is the number one reason why the majority of people really struggle to achieve financial success, and it's habits. Okay, I know you're probably like, really, Laura? But bear with me, all right? Because a lot of women and men don't understand that this is the thing that is hindering them the most. And if you're a leader, you're probably going to start nodding your head. In fact, I'm just going to tie it in. A lot of our people work their business like a hobby. That is habit triggered, right? We don't have the habit of running a business. We've not been taught how to run a business for most people, right? And so the truth of the matter is, we have to do some digging up of old ways of being to become the new thing that we need to become so we can work a successful business. This is the number one reason that a lot of people don't succeed in direct sales, is because they have not established the right habits to run a successful business. Okay. And so if you're a leader on this group, not only for you, but I'm going to say this to you as a leader. When you're training your team, I'm going to encourage you to really get to the root of some of the habits that some of your people are struggling with, because they understand we've got a hostess plan. They understand we have an amazing product. They understand how much their commission makes. And for the general majority of them, they understand those pieces. They understand they got to get on the phone and talk to people. But what they don't understand is what it means to be a business owner. And that requires a different level of habits. That requires a different level of stature and a way of showing up. And so that's what we're going to dig into in today. So the biggest kicker to all of this is whatever habits one has before they started their business are brought into that business and literally will wash away their profits right down the drains. Let me give you an example. If I have a habit of using my debit card to spend whatever money's in my bank account, and I start a business and I'm using my business, whether I have a business account or not, some women don't even have a business account, right? But even if they do, and they're using this debit card to pay for things, they have no idea where their money's going. First of all, they don't know how much money they have coming in because they're not assessing that. And number two, they have no idea where their money is going. So who do they blame when they don't have money in the bank? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Who are they blaming when that money is not in the bank like they thought it should be? I mean, I did this show. I should be making 30% commission. Come on, Sherry. They blame the business, which is why these women and men quit. Okay, they're not quitting really for the right reason. They're quitting because they don't understand the habit that's causing them to sink their business. And so that is why most people leave direct sales, because, and I'm going to tell you, like when I would sponsor somebody, we had a credit card that they could start their business on. I did not promote that because what I found is a lot of women would keep using that credit card to buy all their supplies. And then they would have more debt in their business than they had coming in. And the reason they got into the business was to pay off their debt, right? Because they have a habit, that habit of, you know what, I'll just buy it now and pay later. That's a financial habit that does not lead to financial success. Okay. So here's why this is so important is we need to teach our women and men, our team, on how to shift and becoming the successful business owner they want to be. And, you know, I attribute this to my coach. I've kind of done this, but I didn't realize I was doing this. So I want to share something with you that I actually do in my own coaching program now is what I say that I've been taught is like when you look at yourself in the future and you tell that story of December 31st, 2021, here's the question I want you to ask. Who did I have to become in order to achieve that success? Who did I have to become? Did I have to become more fearless? Did I have to get out of my head and start wondering what people were thinking of me? Did I have to make more phone calls every single day? Did I have to become consistent? Did I have to believe in myself? Did I have to believe in my business opportunities? Did I have to do a budget, right? Who did I have to become? And what did I have to let go of in order to give myself permission to make that shift? See, this is what visioning is all about. You see yourself in the future, you tell the story, right? But then you got to see yourself of who you are there because you didn't just get there. And my coach used to always quote, and I can't remember the guy he would quote, but here's the quote: what got you here will not get you there. So what got me to my level of success that allowed me to quit my job was not going to sustain my business and keep me growing. I had to become something new. I had to level up to take my direct sales business to another level so that I could sustain myself financially to afford that quit, right? So this is the thing that a lot of people don't grab a hold of is we think we're going to stay the same and we're going to continue to get success. And that's not how it works. You're going to have to unpack some habits. And as we grow in our leadership, this is for everybody. You're going to have to unpack some things. So what got you here to your level of success, if you're going to the next level of success, it's not this person right here is not going to get you here. You got to become this person to get you there. And that's something you work out now. You don't wait and become that. You become that in the journey. Okay. Put a 2 in the chat if that makes sense. I want to make sure you guys are clear on what I'm saying, because this is so important when we look at habits and how they are holding us back. We have to shift there. And so we want to ask this question. So I'm going to say this again. I just wrote this story, December 31st, 2021. 2 questions. Who did I have to become in order to tell that story? What did I have to let go of? Okay. What do I have to let go of? So who do I need to be more of? And I'm going to say, narrow that down to like 3 to 5 words, like words: fearless, committed, consistent, happy, love my business, right? I love it. Every aspect of my business, right? So what does that look like? And then what do I have to let go of? Fear, laziness, right? Doubt. I have to stop being doubtful, double-minded. I mean, come on, double-mindedness is a killer in our business. Comparison theory. Come on, stop comparing yourself to other people in this business because their journey is not your journey. So these are things that our people need to let go of in order for them to have permission to be successful. So hopefully that helps you. So our habits are cultivated by many things: how we were raised, the significant people in our lives, and what they've done with money or do with money. And then honestly, what we see on TV and social media and at work. I mean, you can't even get on social media without being bombarded with ads connected to something you were just shopping for online. And now you've got this amazing deal pushed in front of you. It's so easy. It's so good. Like, this is the best deal. And then next thing you know, you're pulling out your credit card, you're buying something without really considering, is this in my budget right now? Is this a need right now? Is this helping me level up in my financial success? And so we need to think about how we're managing our cash flow. Even subconsciously, it's hard because we're just so used to doing it because it's what we've always done. And so again, habits have to shift. So if you want to have a business that is consistently bringing in money to help you reach your financial goals, then you're gonna have to change two things in order to achieve true financial success, the financial success you desire. And it's simple. You've got to look at your money and you've got to create a strong foundation in your business. Now, I know these are not rocket science answers. I know these are not like, oh my gosh, mind blowing. This is the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But this is life skills. Okay. Unfortunately, no one taught us, unless you had great parents, or maybe went to a school that taught this. Most people never are taught how to manage money. And it's one of the most important life skills that we have. It's also one of the one things that causes a lot of depression, health issues, a lot of things, and fights and divorces. I mean, it's just amazing the impact that money has on people's lives. And yet we are not even taught how to manage it properly so that we can have a healthy life with it. And then number two, having a strong foundation. I think a lot of times when we start our direct sales business, we're so excited, we can't wait to go, but we're so overwhelmed that somewhere we got so fast in starting our business that it completely collapses because we did not establish a deep, strong foundation. And this is something I've had to really learn even in my next level of business. My coach always says to me, Laura, fast is slow and slow is fast. Because I like fast. I want to move fast. I want things fast. I want to get it done fast. Are there any other fast people? If you're like a fast person, put fast in the chat. Is there anybody else who's like me that I just want to, be like the fairy godmother and bibbity bobbity boo, like, come on, give me results. Okay. But unfortunately, that does not establish a strong foundation in your business. So when we're recruiting people into our business, we need to ease them in. We need to help them get that strong foundation in the business. And so we're going to talk about how you do that. So the bottom line is how we manage our money flows over into how we manage our business. And so the first thing we want to unpack in this whole process is the money beliefs. If we don't understand the mindset that we have, and I'm not going to just say it's money beliefs, I'm going to add here, it's not a slide in here, but let me just add this, business beliefs. I'm going to add this. So here's a training that you could do with your entire team. Okay. And I do train on this is, what are your business beliefs? Oh, I'll never be as successful as Laura. I used to hear this all the time. Oh, Laura, I can never do what you do. You're just so good at it. You're so natural. Like, you can just stand up and present like it's nothing. And I'm like, I've been teaching for 20 years. Of course it's easy for me. Don't compare yourself to me. But that's a belief that a lot of our people have. I mean, I don't know about you. How many of you have ever lost a recruit because they just couldn't get in their head that they could get in front of an audience and actually share the product? If that's you, put me in the chat. If you've ever said, man, this person would be good at this and I could really help them be successful, but they couldn't get out of their own way believing that they could do it, right? That's a business belief. That's a mindset issue. Okay. And so there are beliefs that we need to unpack, all of us. And as a leader, we want to help our team unpack. And I want to encourage you as a leader, one of the amazing skills I want to encourage you to develop and is start being more discerning and listening to what your recruit, your downline is saying that they're not saying. Okay. In other words, what are they telling you, but they're not saying it like literally? What are they telling you? I've got a time problem. I've got a confidence problem. I've got a comparison problem. I've got a husband issue. I've got a spouse issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they telling you that they're not telling you? That's really creating the real challenge that's keeping them from showing up the way they want to show up in their business, right? So here's some money beliefs. I hear we did this one. If I could just make more money. People believe if I could just make more money, that I will be financially successful, when in fact that is not the truth, because the more money we make, the more money we spend. True or false? What do you guys think? Let me know over in the chat. True or false? The more money we make, the more money we spend. What do you guys think? True or false? Okay. I see those truths over there. And then I hear this, I believe saving money is important, Laura, but I can't afford it. What are we saying when I say I can't? I got this from Eileen Meckley. I love this. She said, I can't means I certainly am not trying. I can't means I certainly am not trying. And if you think about it, if I'm using this lingo of I can't sponsor, of I can't present, of I can't, whatever it is, I can't, what they're really saying to you is I certainly am not trying. Now I add another acronym and say I can, I certainly am now. Okay, I certainly am now. So we're going to get rid of this language of I can't and turn it into I can. Okay, you may not be there yet, but there's this old philosophy, whether you're a spiritual person or not, the Bible says, as a man think in his heart, so is he. But if you're not a biblical person, that's fine. I'm going to give you self-fulfilling prophecy. Whatever you believe will come true, because we will self-sabotage. Okay, so whatever you believe in your mind becomes the manifestation of your life. That's why beliefs are so important, because this is the root that produces the fruit. So if you want financial success, change the root. The root is a belief. So what is the money beliefs that you have? Are they serving you? What are the business beliefs that you have? Are they serving you, or are they hindering you? So again, we could do a whole training just on that, but we don't have that much time today. So I had to give that to you later. If we don't change these beliefs, then we're going to continue to struggle with our habits, because our habits will come from the belief system that we have. So this is what feeds the habits that we have, that are either serving us or hindering us. And if we don't change these habits, we're going to fail to see the financial freedom and business success that we dream about. So we're never going to get out of debt. We're never going to save money. We're never going to see the fruit of our business profits. And we're going to continue to be in the same situation we're in before we even joined our business. And in some cases, there are many people who leave our direct sales business in actually more debt than when they came in. And that is a very unfortunate situation. So how can we get this thing on track? This is it seems like a lot of steps, but it's really not as much as it seems. But if you want to screenshot this, I don't know, I'm sure you guys are going to get a video recording, but if you guys want to screenshot this, but this is like the 7 steps. And pretty much you're just running these 7 steps every single month. So number 1, you're going to establish or review your goals. The problem with goals is people don't weigh in. They don't check in with their goals. They create a goal at the beginning of the year and they don't look at it the rest of the year. Okay. And that's why one of the reasons that goals don't work for people. Another reason why goals don't work for people is they don't create action steps. They just create a goal, but they don't have any specific step-by-step game plan, if you will, right? This is the game plan for your best financial year. Like, you have to create a game plan. If you're going to get on a field, if any of you are football fans, like, the coach always has a game plan, and whoever has the better game plan wins the game. That's it in a nutshell. Whoever coaches the other team out coaches them because their game plan was better, they're going to win. And so if we create a goals, that's our game plan. But if we're not checking in with our game plan and running those plays and the action steps that goes with that, we're not going to achieve those goals. Number 2, we need to date our money. Okay. And so dating your money means you're setting aside a day every single week where you're weighing in with your income. You're weighing in with your expenses. You're weighing in with what's coming in and what's going out. You're tracking your spending. We're going to talk about that here in a minute, a little bit more. Tracking your spending is step number 3. And let me tell you what's not tracking your spending. A bank statement. A bank statement does not tell me what you bought. It just tells me where you went. It doesn't tell me, if you go to one of your big stores that has everything like Walmart, it doesn't tell me all the things you buy at Walmart. What's the problem with that? Everything can be purchased at Walmart. So how do I know what the habit is that's causing you to be financially stuck? Okay. Number 4 is creating a spending plan. Number 5 is assessing your progress. Number 6 is keeping an eye on that mindset, because we've done some work in that. We've talked about that, but we need to maintain some tracking of that, looking at what we're believing and how is that serving or hindering us, and then just repeating the process. So let's talk really quick about goals. It's a desire. Basically, a goal is a desired result that a person envisions. They see December 31st, 2021. Okay. They plan and they commit to achieve. So it's not just something we write on a piece of paper. There's a process that's involved with it. Okay. Your goals will dictate your financial planning and your habits. If you have the right game plan, it should dictate that. Okay. So your goal equals your why. And here's the thing. I'm sure you guys have heard this in direct sales. If you haven't, this is a very important statement. I think you should preach this to your team. If your why isn't strong enough, you will not follow through. In fact, what I say is if your why isn't strong enough, your what will never happen. If why you're doing what you're doing isn't strong, what you need to do to make that happen will never manifest. This is why a lot of women and men don't show up in their business, because they haven't really understood why this business is so important to them. And they really need to drill this down. So one of the activities I used to do with my team is and maybe you've done this activity, is a why. It's just, why are you doing this business? And then they have an answer. And then the next question is, why is that answer important to you? And then they answer it again. And then, why is that answer important to you? And then, and you keep asking why that answer, why that. And so it goes down to like 8 levels. And then you get the real reason why someone's doing this business. And it'll look something like, well, I want to pay off debt. Well, why is paying off debt important to you? Because if I could be debt free, then I wouldn't be stressed and up at night worrying about money. Why is worrying about money important to you? Because it's causing me some health issues. Okay. And why is money causing you those health issues? So you keep drilling that question, you keep asking the why question with the answer. Okay. And that will help you as a leader or as an individual get to the truth about why this business or making money is important to you. And that is what you're going to hang on to really go after your goals. Okay. So there are 2 things that come together, your why and then the what. So why you're doing it so that you can do what you need to do to reach your goals. Okay. So number 2 is dating your money. And yes, I know that sounds kind of weird for some of you. You may have never heard of this, but just like you date your significant other to have a successful relationship with them, if you want to have a successful relationship with money, you got to date your money. And that means it needs to be the same day, the same time, every single week. It needs to be a date on your calendar. Because we know if it's not on the calendar, I'll date it tomorrow. We'll go next weekend. It doesn't work that way. And this is why so many people are struggling with their money, because they don't weigh in. So I want you to create a designated time every week. It's the same day, same time. It's an appointment on your calendar. So if someone says, hey, can you go get some coffee? And it's money date time, I can't. I have a date. Okay, it's 30 minutes a week. It's not a lengthy time. Now, the first few you might be a little longer because it's new. But once you master the system, it's 30 minutes or less a week. And this is the time when you pay your bills. This is the time when you track your spending and you weigh in what's going on. What did you spend this last week? This is the time when you review your spending plan, you review your goals, your action steps, the steps that you're taking. Okay, this is the time when you're looking at, am I doing what I need to do to fulfill why I'm doing this? Am I taking the actual steps that I need to be taking? Okay, you're spending time with your money, you're weighing in, and you're not giving yourself a choice. Have you ever noticed, if you say, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to work out, but I equate working out and health as very, very equivalent to money. But I always ask myself, do I feel like working? Am I going to work out tomorrow, or do I feel like working out? Let me tell you what the answer is always going to be. No. I see Sarah, she's like, yeah, that's not going to happen, right? Because if you give yourself a choice, the choice is always going to be no. Let me give you a business example. Should I call my people today after when I get off work? Yeah, nah, I'll do it tomorrow. Come on, y'all know this is the truth, right? If we give ourselves a choice, if we're going to do our phone calls, our follow-up calls, a lot of us are going to be like, I'll do it tomorrow. This is why you got to take options off the table. We need to stop asking ourselves, should I do this? Just do it. Like, don't even think about it. And this is who I had to become, and I'm still having to become in lots of areas of my life where I'm like, you know what? Stop asking. Just do it. Don't even think about it. Just do it. And you know what happens after doing it a few times? It's just automatic. And then it doesn't even feel like it's a chore. It's not a heavy lift. You're just doing it. Okay. And then you've changed a habit. And that's how a lot of times you're going to change that habit. All right. Tracking your spending. Our spending patterns and habits, they tell us everything we need to know about what we value and where the problems are in our business and with our money. So tracking our spending is super important. So this is where you can do it in a lot of different ways. I know this is going to sound weird. I don't know if I have any millennials on this training. Millennials, I know you like electronic things, but I've done a lot of financial coaching. And what I have found is even as a millennial, the old paper system works best when you're starting off, just so you learn how to do it. You can go to an app if you want to, but if you're not staying, if you're not staying consistent with it, or you can't see it as a whole picture, it's not going to serve you. You need to see the bigger picture of where every dollar is going. So what my favorite method is I get receipts, because receipts tell you everything. It gives you an itemized picture of everything you purchased. I don't keep every receipt, so don't worry. I'm not telling you to keep every receipt, but what I am telling you is you get a receipt for every transaction, or if there isn't a receipt opportunity, then that's where you have to write it down. And when you do your money date, you have a tracking system where you put it in. Okay, I bought food on the 1st, the 3rd, the 10th, and the 11th. Okay, and this is what I spent. I filled up my cart on the 2nd and the 5th. I went to Walmart and I bought personal care items. I bought entertainment, whatever, right? And so you have a receipt that shows you what you bought. And then when you're done, you can get rid of those receipts. You can just, put them in a shredder. You don't have to keep them as long as you put them in a tracking system so you can see what you bought. I usually keep my receipts for a month. And then at the end of the month, I get rid of them all, because that way, if I need to go back and reference anything for the whole month view, then I can go back and find that receipt. So I keep them in categories, and then I can review them, and then I get rid of them. The only receipts that I do keep are for business transactions, obviously for tax purposes, anything that I need for homeowners insurance, anything that I need for documentation purposes, I keep those receipts. Other than that, I just get rid of them. I don't keep them after that. Okay, so once you've done the tracking, then you're going to create a spending plan. Okay, and so the spending plan doesn't need to be complex. All right, and so what you're looking at is really, it's a month-to-month plan. It's not a one and done. This is where mistakes happen with spending plans. A lot of times people think, oh, I'll just do a spending plan. It's set in stone. I don't change it, and that's not true. Every month looks different. How do I know? Well, what happened this month? And I want some of you guys, tell me in the chat, what happened this month that did not happen last month for everybody? We had a holiday. What was the holiday that we had? Thank you, Sarah. Easter, right? So we had a different expense item. That doesn't happen every month, right? Last month might have been spring break. The month before that was Valentine's. The month before that, we were just trying to recover from Christmas or Hanukkah or the holidays. We weren't spending any money, right? So every month is going to look different. Our kids have different activities going on, different school expenses, different things, different family activities. Every month is going to be different. So in your money date, the last week of the month, one of the things you're going to do is you'll do your spending plan for the month that's coming up. And you're going to think about what's happening in May, because we're going into the next month. What's happening in May that I need to think, oh, we have Memorial Day, right? So we might go away for the weekend. Okay, kids are getting out of school. So I need to start thinking about that. What is going to happen in May that didn't happen in April and in the other months, right? Mother's Day, thank you. Graduations, exactly. So we want to think about what's going to be unique in this month that I need to plan for. And so what I like in a spending plan is you have a line item that's a planned amount. And then at the end of the month, you come back and you put what you actually spent so you can compare. How did you do? And then here's where you can look for the assessment, which is the next step we're going to talk about. What do I need to make change-wise? Do I need to give myself more money because I've done everything I can to be, to stretch my dollars and I still spent too much? Or could I do some different, could I change some habits and get my money down? For example, if I'm overspending on food, which is the number one spending leak in most households, think about what you did habit-wise with food. Were you eating out every day? Were you going to the grocery store too much? And too much is like, I had a client that would go every single day and they were spending almost their entire income on food. They didn't realize it because they didn't track their spending. And so because they're going to the grocery store every single day, right? So are you going every other day? Are you going when you're hungry? You know, are you shopping sales? Are you meal planning? There's a lot of things that someone can do to stretch their food dollars. And if they're not doing those things, then we need to look at how can we change some of those habits to keep your food budget down. Or if you've done all those things or you're comfortable with what you're doing, then you need to give yourself more money. Now, if the spending plan is not working, who has the power to change it? Put it in the chat. Who has the power to change the spending plan? And for those of you watching the replay, hopefully you're thinking the answer in your head. Who has the power to change that? Exactly, Sherry. You have the power to change it. You have the power to change it. The reason why people don't want to do a spending plan because they feel like it's going to control them. Well, if you're the one doing the spending plan, a budget or spending plan, I like to use spending plan because the word spend is in there and people like that word spending. So I don't like the word budget per se, but they're both the same thing. But one of the fears that people have with doing something like this, oh, it's going to control me. I don't want to be told what to do. You're the one that's doing the plan. So you're the one that's telling yourself what you can and can't do. It's your money. You get to do whatever you want with it. It's your plan. There's no little person in the background saying, nah, 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 nah. You're the one that's in control. So create a plan that you're going to be okay with. And then if you're struggling with it, then remind yourself why you're doing this to begin with, why this is important to you, why this is the game changer for your financial success. So the top 3 reasons, there's lots of reasons why spending plans don't work. Number 1, it's not realistic because they're not tracking their spending. So they're not creating allotments that are realistic based on their behavior. Number 2, not weighing in. In other words, there's no money dates. They're not checking their spending. They're not looking at what's going in, coming out. There's no management system. And then number 3, they're treating it like a fad diet. And if you know anything about fad diets, they don't work. This is a lifestyle change. This is not a one and done, I'm done for the rest of my life. This is a serious commitment, but it's an easy commitment. It's just a commitment that a lot of people seem to run from because, again, we've got some beliefs in there, money beliefs about this process that we are going to have to uproot in order to make this possible for us. All right. In fact, spending plans do the opposite of what many people think. And that means they give you control because you're the one that gets to decide. It also helps you stretch your money farther. It also helps you achieve your financial goals. And the biggest thing, it gives you clarity of where your money's going, how much money you want to spend. And that way, when you're scrolling through social media and you see that amazing deal, then you can say, okay, did I put this in my plan? And if the answer is no, I have 2 other questions. Okay, what will I give up to make this purchase? Or I'm going to have to wait. See, that puts you in the driver's seat. You're now in control of decision making, okay? And then number 5, assessing. So in the money date, part of what you're doing is you're looking at what's going on with money and you're making some assessments. You know, how is it, what am I doing with my money? Where is it going? Am I comfortable with it? You know, what does it tell me about what I'm valuing, what my interests are, what my attitude is towards my money or my financial situation? Are there any money triggers that I have? Am I finding some leaks in my spending? Things that I didn't know anything about. For example, I remember, I'll give you an example. When McDonald's McCafe first came out, I used to get all these free coupons and I wasn't even really a coffee drinker, but McDonald's was right across the street from my office. So it was easy, accessible. So I would go get my free McCafe. And next thing you know, I had a habit of going over there to get a free coffee. See, new habit. At the end of that month, I had spent over $60 on McCafe. It wasn't even in my budget. And I didn't realize it because here's what I said. It's only, how many of you guys know what I'm talking about? We say this, it's only $2. Or you go into the Dollar Tree, it's only $1, but it's not $1 if you're spending $80, right? It's not $1 if it's adding up. And that is where the greatest issue is with people and money. It's really not the big things. A lot of times we feel like it's our mortgage or our rent. That is the least of your financial struggle. It's the little things that add up because of the conversation in our mind. We're equating, oh, it's only $1. But if you have a habit of doing that every day, that adds up, right? And so that becomes a big challenge. So you want to assess and you want to look at what's working for you, what's not working, what needs to be adjusted, and then what progress you've made toward your goals, and what action steps you're going to want to take for the next month. So again, all of this is in motion. So I know this seems like a lot, but it's really not, because really you've already established your goals. Done. You're just going to date your money every week. You're going to keep receipts for all your transactions. So you're tracking your spending, create that plan and assess where you are. And then the last step, or the next step is, oh, I should say this really quick. Let me say this next step and then I'll come back here, is keeping an eye on your mindset, thinking about, what is it I'm saying about my money? What is it I'm believing about my money? And I would say this about your business too, okay? And then repeat. Step 7 is repeat. So it's really the hardest part of this whole process is not the hardest part, but is just dating it. Like just showing up and doing those two big things, tracking and managing your cash flow, right? So there are only 3 ways to fix your financial situation. If you run into a snafu, we either cut expenses, we increase income, or we do both. The good news is we have a business where we can work and increase our income to fix any financial gap, okay? So I'm curious, can you think of one thing that you spend money on that you could be adding up, or causing a leak in your life right now? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Is there one thing that you can think of, be like, yeah, that could probably be adding up quicker than I realized. Okay. Am I the only one that went to make, has that coffee thing, right? Am I the only one that has that little expense that was adding up that was really quick? I have to watch myself. I don't go to the Dollar Tree for that reason. DoorDash, using Apple Pay, Sarah, that's a good one. I know another one that's big too is just apps, like in-game apps, in-game purchases, and their mobile apps. People, oh, it's only $3, whatever, but it adds up so fast. So thank you for being, you had to remove Zulily because of it. Yeah, it definitely, and just maybe even having people deliver food. I'm sorry, I have a squeaky toy behind me, but I have a puppy who's decided that this is the time to play. So I apologize about that. All right, so here's the action step. When you do your spending plan, you're going to determine if there's a financial gap. Okay, so you're going to look at all your sources of income. If your business is the only income you have, then this is going to be different for you. But if you have other sources of income and you're still like, you got a gap, that's where you're going to now look at your business. So now we're going to look at creating that strong business foundation so that you can work and build off of that to build a stronger, more consistent business. Let me get this. We're not going to do that toy right now. Okay, so there are 2 questions. Does anybody have kids? I have 2 puppies, but it's equivalent to having kids. There are 2 questions that you want to ask when building a strong business foundation. So part 1 was the finances. Now we're looking at the business part right here. So how much do you need to earn? And here's the thing that I always want to start with all my people on my team is, let's start with your minimum need. Let's not, I know in the grand scheme of things, I want to make 2,000, 4,000, 10, I want to make a lot of money. Got it. But I don't want you to go there yet. I just want you to, and here, if you're sponsoring, I'm going to give you a very important tip. This is where you sponsor. You sponsor at a minimum need, not a maximum need. Don't let people that you're recruiting pull numbers out of the air. Please attach it to a actual bill they need to pay. And then when you're sponsoring, build your business plan around that. So for example, if I have someone who told me they needed to pay 1 credit card, I'm like, well, how much is the credit card? I owe $5,000. I'd like to pay $200. Perfect. Let me show you in the business let me show you in our business where you make $200. How long, what kind of work you would have to do to make that $200. You know what that does? It shows them how easy it is, number 1, to make that $200. And that's the consistency they need to show up and build a strong foundation. Now, when they're consistently making that $200, $200, now they're in a consistent place they can build on and they're ready to make more money. The problem is someone comes to me and says, I want to make $1,000. Well, $1,000 might be a little harder to make in the business, especially just starting. It's definitely doable. We all have great businesses that can make good money, but there's a lot more work that's involved to make that kind of money. And so take someone from 0 to 60 in the first month or 2 is hard. And if you're doing a restart, same thing. Okay. So no matter where you are in your business, that's what you want to think about, is what is the minimum business I need to do right now just to make that 1 payment? and build consistency around that one payment, now you have a foundation you can build off of. And so when we look at how much I need to make just to do that one bill or that one expense or that one amount, what do I need to do to make that happen? So how many events? So one of the things that I encourage is to create a monthly income strategy. Okay. And so in my income strategy worksheet that I have, that I use with my team, is I would really just have them break down, what's the average commission that they can make, what's the average amount they would make per individual sale. So a group order, an individual sale, and then the average that they might make per active recruit. And if you have a back office and you've been in the business long enough, you should be able to look at this information. You should be able to get some average numbers. And an easy way to do that is take maybe the last 3 to 6 months worth of work and divide it, right, by the number of months. And that'll give you an average for each one of those. And then take the number of people who are actively working in your business and divide it by that number. So if you have 10 people and on average your commission check was 1,000 people, on average you're making $100 per active recruit. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to do. You want to figure out on average, how much money do we make on those 3 things: a group order, individual order, or a recruit. Then you want to look at, based on those average numbers, how many events what I need to do. So if I only need to make $250 and my average group income is $150, that's 2 events. Or maybe I may do 1 group event and I can do a couple of individual orders, or maybe I recruit 1 person and they're active. So there's a lot of different leveraging that I can work in my business to figure out how am I going to get to that $250, right? The key is that I'm, number 1, clear on my ultimate goal of how much money I need to make. And 2, I'm looking in my business to determine how many group orders, individual orders, or people I want to recruit or support in their business to grow my business to make that income. Okay. So one of the things that you want to really work on is not just, okay, pull a number and put it on your little thing, how much money you're going to make. Have them go through the numbers and see what they're making so they can see how much work is involved to get them to their goal. Okay, so create a 30-day income strategy. Once they have their income strategy, then you want to look at your current calendar. How much business do you have booked right now? Do you have the business booked? If not, then you want to get that booked or determine how many more events or individual custom orders you need to reach your goal. See, this is where you're weighing in. So just like you're dating your money, you're going to date your business. Every week you should have a business meeting with yourself, and you should be assessing where you are with your financial goal. How many events have I done? How much money have we made so far? And how much do we still have yet to go? And do I have enough business booked to cover that? And if I don't, what do I need to do right now to fill that up so that I can get that business and work that plan? Okay. Put a 5 in the chat if that makes sense. I want to make sure that this is clear. This is the habit of working your business. This is what working a business looks like. This is how you attack any kind of business. How much money do I need to make? What can I do to make that money? And monitoring my progress. Am I on track? This to me is the process that I feel like it's like this. I don't know in your business, but I felt like in my direct sales business with leadership, I always felt like we would talk about bookings and all these other things, but I wanted to see what you were doing every day in your business. I wanted to see how you were showing up, because I think that's the habits that we're not really able to explore. And I want to see more of that. And I think by having this clarity of how we show up and what that looks like, this is important. So the last couple of things that I want to talk about, and I apologize, these slides are a little weird looking, but there's a couple of things to develop and creating a strong foundation. Number 1, we have to establish a strong routine. To me, I don't know if you guys get training on this, but in our company, we never really trained on this. So this was, to me, a big gap in our company. We did not train on how many hours you should be working your business, what you should be doing in your office hours, what that looked like. I'm a visual person. I wanted it spelled out. Like, tell me what I should be doing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, especially a new person who had never worked a business. I wanted a bigger picture. So if you have a routine, if you're a leader and you have a team, create something like this for your team. Okay. If you don't have it and you want it for yourself, create it for you. Think about all the different activities that your business requires of you, whether it's marketing, customer follow-up, whether it's booking events, hostess coaching, whatever that is. And when you're going to do that, going to the bank, doing deposits, putting in your orders, checking, balancing your check, your business account, all those things, those are routine things. Some of those things need to be done daily. Some of those things should be done weekly, and some of them are done monthly. And then you establish a system for showing up in your business. So that way, when you're doing certain activities. So here's an example. So like this was one that I established for the Premier business that when I was in Premier was, every day I prayed over my business, my downline, my upline, the company. I check my calendar, I check my email, my Facebook messages, all those, and I make my 5 calls a day. Every day, that is what I did. Weekly, right? On Monday, I had office hours from 2 to 4 p.m. and my daily items would include, call my upcoming hostess, schedule hostess coaching, call potential hostess for bookings, make my bank deposits, and submit orders from the weekend. And so and on the first Monday of every month, we had training. So I'm not going to go through this whole entire list, but you see, I have mapped out what I did every Monday and what I did every Tuesday and what I did every Wednesday. I have my office hours of when I showed up consistently working my business. This is what a consistent business foundation looks like, is we have office hours. So it's not working our business in the nook and crannies. I think that's a bad habit that we're teaching people. You can work your business in the nooks and crannies. I think that's why people work their business like a hobby. They're not working it like a business, because we're teaching them to try to fit it in like it's not a priority. We're teaching them to put it on the back burner. We're teaching them that it's not the most important thing. And it's not the most important thing, but it's an important thing that should be treated just like it's a job anywhere else. If we're showing up to our job, we need to show up in our business. So one of the things that I encourage you to do is to create a business routine that makes sense for you. So one of the things that I teach is to let me go back for a second, is map out, get a calendar and put everything you have going on in your life on your calendar. Okay. Everything, whether it's church events, family events, work, kid events, whatever, everything. And so that way you can visually see all of your family life, all your other routine. And then where are the gaps? Where is the time that you have to work on your business? And every day may look different. Monday may be from 5 to 6. Tuesday might be from 9 to 12. Every day might be looking different based on all the other commitments you have, but you're working your business around those things and you're creating that consistency. All right. And then the last thing here, and I don't know why this slide's looking so weird, but we're going to work with it here. So customer follow-up. Here's a couple of things that I want to talk about with customer follow-up. Again, these are the things to build a strong foundation. Manage money, make the money. If you want to make money, you've got to have the strong foundation. So you've got to have your customer follow-up. So what do you need to be communicating with your customers regularly? What is the thing that so you're touching base? What is that thing that you should be talking to them regularly? Not just about sales, not just about your business. It's also just, hey, how are you doing? I saw that your kid got an award, something. Think of something where you're all the time building that connection with them, and think of, what is my goal for contacting them? And it shouldn't always be business. It should also be just to connect. How often should this communication be happening? How will you contact them? And what is their preference of communication? Phone, text, email. What do they prefer? And then choosing a system that works for you. So you want to have a system for customer follow-up. All right. So here's the question. We started off the beginning. It's December 31st, 2021. We're telling a story. And I'm asking you, how do you want to finish 2021? Do you want to be the girl that's sitting on the sideline watching the game and everybody else with their success? Or do you want to be the girl that's scoring touchdown after touchdown? She's in the game and she's playing the game. She's showing up in her business. She's showing up with her money, and she's talking about the amazing success she's had in 2021. Okay, that is what we have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. If you guys want to connect, I'll just tell you really quick. I do have a podcast show. It's called The Catch Your Money Show. You can definitely connect with me at Catch Your Money on all of our social media channels. And you can go to catchyourmoney.com if you want to listen to any of our podcasts. It's on business and finances. The mission of Catch Your Money is about being kingdom minded in both your business and money, so that you can give to the causes that are near and dear to your heart. Thank you guys for tuning in today. And thank you, Sherry, for having me.
Hey, thank you so much, Laura. I have 4 pages of notes. And I always highlight things that really jump out at me. And I've got so much pink all over my papers, you know, so we are out of time, but Laura gave you permission to reach out to her. But Laura, you had me with your theme. I'm like an NFL freak. I mean, just an absolute NFL freak. So I was like, okay, I like this theme a lot. But my favorite word on the planet is intentional.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything that you shared today really came back to that, being intentional, being strategic, being accountable. So thank you so much. This was absolutely amazing. You just gave us so much. And the good news is, folks, that you have 2 weeks from today to listen to this. So the recordings won't come down until April 27th. This is one I know you're going to want to listen to again and again and again, because there was just a lot of content here. And almost all of it is stuff we had never heard before. So be sure you listen to this one several times before it goes away. But all the others as well, they were all just amazing. But Laura, this was a much needed training for our industry. I can't thank you enough. It was just fabulously done. So thank you so, so much. Okay, everybody. Thanks again, Laura. We'll see you. We won't see you. This is it. This is our last one. So you wrapped it up well. All right, so thank you again. We'll see you guys in the future.